In a bit less than shocking development this morning, Tesla's down a bit after the massive rally of the last few days. Where will we end up today? That's a really good question. It was up very nice all evening, overnight, and into the pre-market. But when the markets opened this morning, nothing was quite as good as it had been in the pre-market, and Tesla was just one of the casualties. In general, boy, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be tough. We got the PCE coming in Friday, which I'm sure everybody's paying attention to. We'll talk about consumer confidence in a minute. We just got those numbers just before we started. I think in general, the market could be, again, trending sideways for a while. I'm not expecting us to get back to all-time highs in the market or in Tesla anytime soon. As you know, my all-time high for Tesla is the end of May. That's when I think we'll be back to all-time highs. So it's not that far away. A couple of months, you can hang in there till then, right? But what about the overall market? Well, I think there's still a lot of tension, even though the VIX is way down into the 17s. Last time I checked, there's still a lot of confusion and anxiety over, well, the tariffs for one thing. All right, let's take a look at the details on all this. Let's start with China. So CERN Basher this morning says Tesla China, 17th best week since 2022. Production and sales are surging in China. Last week, 17,400 deliveries were registered in China. That would be about what Gary Black was expecting. This is 5,700 vehicles below Tesla's previous weekly insured unit peak. That was week 38 in 2022. This week's number brings Tesla to about 75% of that previously achieved maximum uninsured unit rate of 23,000 vehicles. It'll be interesting to see if they can achieve a newer, higher maximum rate in the coming weeks. So I'm sure we will get to brand new highs never ever seen before in China in upcoming weeks. Then from Canaccord Genuity analyst, I can never pronounce his name, yeah. He visited Tesla's Gigafactory a few days ago. As we toured the Cybertruck line and saw firsthand elements of the future unboxed manufacturing strategy that promises to materially increase production efficiencies. It's hard not to be impressed with how future forward Tesla is, whether it's vehicle design or manufacturing, consistently rethinking the status quo. And then there's the FSD version 13.2.8. Yes, it was in Austin on a sunny day on a known path, but it was smooth, zero interventions, great highway merging, no issues. And the new Model Y, we really liked it in person. Not to mention the gold cybercab we saw roaming the Austin campus. Future forward. He reiterated his 404 Tesla price target. Tesla has staged a comeback in Norway's electric vehicle market with the launch of the new Model Y. Deliveries starting domestically. The new Model Y has reclaimed its spot in Norway's number one, top of the line, can't be beat, number one registered car this month and year to date. There you go. Tesla's results in Norway this month could be seen in 𝐬𝐵 that closely tracked EV registrations in the country. They revealed that Tesla registered over 1,000 Model Ys in Norway this March, more than twice the tally of its closest rival, the Volkswagen ID. Buzz, which only had about 400 registrations. The new Model Y's comeback also resulted in all-electric crossover being the country's top electric vehicle sale year-to-date, 2,032 registrations, and that's with no production. The new Model Y's dominant performance in Norway hints at the vehicle's strong appeal to consumers, especially considering the controversial nature of the company's CEO, who? Elon Musk. Sentiments about Musk have been notable as of late, resulting in some Tesla owners feeling the brunt of vandalism and abuse incidents in the United States, Canada, and in some areas of Europe. The Model Y comprises a huge portion of Tesla's global sales. During Tesla's Q1 2025 all-hands meeting, Elon Musk highlighted that the Model 1 is the most successful vehicle, and it believes it will continue to be so. Model Y became the best-selling vehicle in the world he said, for your information, we do make the best. It's like, how are we doing in our popularity? Well, we actually literally make the best-selling car on earth of any kind. That's 2 years in a row, and it's going to be the best-selling car on earth again this year, Musk predicted. I hate to mention the name Ross Gerber, but I saw a quote from Ross Gerber this morning saying, no matter what you think about Elon Musk, Tesla makes the best cars. Okay, Ross, whatever. In today's Tesla market trading update for Monday, March 24, 2025, Gary says, I'm sorry, this would be, oh man, I did a lousy job this morning of putting down who this was quoting. I think this is AJ. Yes, it is. In today's Tesla market trading update, uh, which was yesterday, AJ included a review of Tesla rallies since Tesla, a review of previous Tesla rallies, because he thinks Tesla is approaching rally territory as defined by 5 consecutive up days. Thus, so far, Tesla was up 4 consecutive days. So in number 1, S&P rose 1.8%, NASDAQ up 2.3%, Tesla, of course, we know yesterday, up 12%. 2, the rally was driven by optimism around softer U.S. tariff stance. Number 3, tech sector led gains with Tesla boosting NASDAQ significantly. Number 4, reduced fears of aggressive trade restrictions lifted market sentiment. Number 5, Tesla benefited additionally from plans to launch FSD in China, pending regulatory approval, probably as early as April. Number 6, Tesla up 4 consecutive sessions after a 9-week losing streak. And number 7, Tesla $45 billion traded, the largest amount since Bloody Monday sell-off 2 weeks ago. Thank you, AJ. Mario Knopfel says, Pierce Morgan, he's quoting Pierce Morgan, all of the things Elon does are a force for good. I think Elon actually might be a superhero, he says. Almost every business he starts, everyone condemns it to immediate failure. It's always done on a massive, grandiose scale with a massive, grandiose plan. Sounds like Randy. And he's delivered. Look at what SpaceX does in the world now. Look at the satellite systems. Never mind anything else. They are just on a different level to anything else we've ever seen. Yes, clearly. Then you look at X and what he's done there. It's gone from 67% Democratic, 32% Republican on X. Now it's pretty much 50-50. He has redressed the balance. He's democratized this very undemocratic but massively popular, powerful social media tool and made it the #1 news source in the world. I look at all these, he didn't say that, I did. I look at all these things he's doing and I think, actually, what's the common thread here? All of it is a force for good. All of it is ultimately designed to save us from ourselves. I'm not saying he's a perfect human being. He can be difficult, as can all the rest of us. Piers Morgan knows this better than anybody. But by superhero criteria right now in the world, who is a bigger transformative superhero right now than Elon Musk? Who? Give us a name. This is Randy Kirk. Thank you so much for watching. My numbers are soaring recently. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family if they have any interest in the economy, in the stock market, in Tesla, in Elon. This is the place to get the news and to get analysis. And based on 6 years now, 6 years I've been studying the man and the company. 2.5 years I've been doing the show. We've had over 12 million views now on the show. Thank you again for watching. Roberto F. over in Italy, he's been watching the show and he placed an order for 3 Cybertruck bottle openers. This is not the normal season, but there's no real season for bottle openers. We are coming into spring. It's going to be time to be going out there and doing your picnics and stuff. So maybe you need a Cybertruck bottle opener. Interestingly, the VIX, I mentioned a minute ago, VIX is now down around 17. That's a lot less fear than we had last week, even though we'll see in a minute that the consumers are still a little bit fearful. This is from AJ again. He says egg prices, which added in February about 11 points to headline inflation, 11 basis points for eggs. Are collapsing. The prices are collapsing, not the eggs. The prices are collapsing. I estimate that the current price implies egg price inflation is in half month on month, and this alone will remove about 5 basis points from inflation. We'll see if that shows up in the PCE on Friday. The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price NSA Index. This is the longest title of anything I've ever seen. Covering all 9 U.S. Census divisions reported a 4.1 annual return for January, up from 4.1% annual gain in the previous month. So about the same. And this, by the way, is down, from the last few years. So this is about what I've been predicting. I could even drop a little more, maybe 3.5%, 3%. So looking at 4%, though, is uh, about what was anticipated. The 10-city composite saw an annual increase of 5.3% in the cities, in the major 10 cities, up from 5.2. So up marginally, 0.1. The 20-city composite posted a year-over-year increase of 4.7, so closer to the overall. New York again reported the highest annual gain. Who wants to go there? I don't understand. Anyway, a 7.7% increase in January, followed by Chicago, Boston, with annual increases of 7.5 and 6.6, with Tampa getting the lowest return, actually falling by 1.5, explaining why Nicholas Gibbs is seeing that the market is down. Florida's market is down for a couple of reasons about insurance and about hurricanes and such, and overbuilding possibly. But not to worry. I think Florida will recover later this year. We're just now getting into season. Reuters. U.S. consumers are starting to curb their spending in response to high prices and a worsening economic outlook, according to consumer finance company Synchrony Financial. Americans have been accumulating more debt amid strain in their finances, with delinquencies edging up for auto loans, credit cards, and home credit lines, the Federal Reserve said last month. Philadelphia Federal Reserve President Patrick Harker has also warned that trouble may be brewing for the U.S. economy, which is showing signs of stress in the consumer sector, consumer confidence also waning. The belt tightening indicates that Americans whose finances are broadly healthy are preparing for their finances to be more stretched, said Max Axler, chief credit officer at Synchrony. Most clients are still keeping up their loan repayments, he added. Purchase volumes have gone down across the industry as consumers across all income groups become a little more thoughtful about spending, he said. Synchrony, they issue credit cards in partnership with retailers and merchants. They have 100 million consumer credit accounts. U.S. consumer sentiment plunged to a nearly 2.5-year low in March as inflation expectations soared. Some economists have warned President Trump's sweeping tariffs could boost prices. So, that was overall, a bit of caution, but saying that consumers are still in good shape. That's interesting. Okay. Then we've got sales of, this just breaking just before we came on, sales of new single-family houses in February were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate, 676,000, and that was versus 677,000 expected. This is according to estimates released jointly by the U.S. Census Bureau and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Do we need both? Okay, cut. This is 1.8% above the revised January rate of 664,000 and 5.1 above the February 2024 estimate of 643. So the sales price, the median price of new houses sold in February was 414,500. The average sales price was 487. For sale, inventory, and month supply, the seasonally adjustment estimate of new houses for sale at the end of February was 500,000. This represents a supply of 8.9 months at the current sales rate. So there's a little bit more inventory out there. That's a decent buyer's market. This might be your one opportunity. I don't think it's going to last long. Okay, finally, I didn't have time to even chop through this because the conference board, they have a problem with their servers. I don't know. Every month you go on exactly when the report comes out, which was at 7 o'clock California time, just before I came on. It took 5 minutes before I could even get this thing. And then I just copied and pasted. The Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index fell by fell by 7.2 points in March to 92.9. The present situation index, based on consumers' assessment of the current business and labor market conditions, only decreased by 3.6 points to 134.5. But the expectations index, based on consumers' short-term outlook for income, business, and labor market conditions, dropped by 9.8%. I'm sorry, points, not percent, to 65.2, which is the lowest level in 12 years and was below the threshold of 80 that usually signals a recession ahead. The cutoff date for preliminary results was March 19th, 2025. Okay, now this is where I'm going to insert my analysis. I believe, see, you remember 2 weeks ago, I believe we were going to have a recession. 2 weeks ago, I think it's reasonable for people to be thinking there might be a recession coming, especially as much as they've been hammered with the tariff stuff with regard to the headlines. However, you'll notice their present situation was not as bad as their future thinking. I think their future thinking is wrong. And as you know, I've now become totally convinced there's not going to be a recession. The Treasury Secretary's got this. The Commerce Secretary is brilliant. I don't think we're going to have a problem. Consumer confidence declined for a fourth consecutive month in March, falling below the relative narrow range that has prevailed since 2022, according to Stephanie Ghouchard, G-U-I-C-H-A-R-D, Ghouchard, anyway, senior economist, global indicators at the Conference Board. Of the index's top 5 components, they only have 5 components. Only consumers' assessment of the present labor market conditions improved. So they're thinking that the labor situation is getting better. Views of current business conditions weakened to close to neutral, but that's still neutral. Consumers' expectations were especially gloomy, with pessimism about future business conditions deepening and confidence about future employment prospects falling to a 12-year low. Meanwhile, consumers' optimism about future income, which has held up quite strongly in the past few months, largely vanished, suggesting worries about the economy and labor market have started to spread into consumers' assessments of their personal situations. March's fall in confidence was driven by consumers over 55, and to a lesser extent, those between 35 and 55. But by contrast, confidence rose slightly among consumers under 35 as an uptick in their assessments of the present situation more than offset gloomier expectations. The decline was also broad-based among income groups, with the only exception being households earning more than $125,000 a year. Ghouchard added, likely in response to recent market volatility, consumers turned negative about the stock market for the first time since the end of 2023. In March, only 37.4% expected stock prices to rise for the year ahead. That's down nearly 10 percentage points. I'm telling you, the stock market will end in the green, probably at least 15 points on the S&P. Let's see. On the flip side, 44.5 expected stock prices to decline. Meanwhile, average 12-month inflation expectations rose again from 5.8% in February to 6.2%. This is ridiculous. They've been scared into this. There's not a chance in the world that inflation's going up that much in this year. They're being scared by these headlines. Consumers' views of their family's current financial situation improved slightly, but their expectations, of course, were down. Special question about how easy is it for consumers to form expectations about the future found consumers' self-confidence among consumers in assessing their future income, with over 45 finding it easy and only 20% finding it difficult. Interesting. On a 6-month moving average basis, purchasing plans for both homes and cars declined. Surprisingly, given the anxiety about the future, intentions to buy big ticket items, including appliances and electronics, ticked up, which may reflect plans to buy before impending tariffs lead to price increases. Consumers' overall intentions to purchase additional services in the months ahead were little changed. I got to tell you something. This tariff thing is frightening people, and it doesn't need to. I've mentioned on this channel over and over again, I think the very most that is going to impact inflation would be 0.8%. for the entire year. And so we might be looking at, instead of 2.5, 3.3. And I don't think it'll be that much, because I think the other inflation components are going to go down. Comments on the current administration and its policies, both positive and negative, dominated consumers. Write-in responses on what is affecting their views. Write-in responses also show that inflation is still a major concern. All right, consumers' assessment of business conditions were significantly less positive. 17.7% of consumers said business conditions were good. That was down from 19.1. 16.6 said business conditions were bad. That was up slightly, about that same amount. 33.6 of consumers said jobs were plentiful. That was unchanged. 15.7% of consumers said jobs were hard to get. That was down. 17.1% of consumers expected business conditions to improve. That was down. 27.3 expected business conditions to worsen, and that was up about the same amount. Labor market, okay. Assessment of family finances, recession risk. Consumers' assessment of their family's current financial situation improved slightly. Consumers' assessment of their family's expected situation weakened to a 2.5-year low. All right, I got a little fun for you here before we look at the numbers. This is from Defiant LS. He says, quoting Van Jones, if progressives have a politics that says all white people are racist and all men are toxic and all billionaires are evil, it's kind of hard to keep them on your side. Oh, look at him trying to sound reasonable and all. Actually, Van Jones surprises me from time to time with his wisdom, and that would be a great case in point. All right, so what are the markets doing with all this? Exactly what they've been doing all morning. They have not changed their mind at all about today. It is flat, slightly up, just barely in the green this morning, with Tesla in the green, out of the green, now back up close to the green. Anyway, it's very flat this morning. Given the run-up of the last few days, this is not shocking. So we've got the Dow up 0.14, NASDAQ up 0.19. We got S&P up 0.20. Those three all very, very close. Unusual. Tesla down 0.76%. The rest of the Mag 7 are up except for NVIDIA, which is down even more than Tesla. I know, I keep making the same joke over and over again, but I can't help myself. Jensen Huang has got to stop being so political. How come he's down twice as much as Tesla this morning? Down 1.6, Tesla's only down 0.73. What is going on, Jensen? Sorry, I can't help myself. All right, and the Cathie Woods are down, generally speaking, with PayPal up. And that's really weird. I didn't change anything, and Block is off my list. That's very, very strange. Is Block, have they stopped trading in, I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and look at the bonds. Here we go. All right, so we've got the 10-year is actually down, but I would call it flat, down 0.2% at 4.329, way too high. The 2-year, though, is dropping 1.3, and the 2-month up 0.5 basis point. So also very flat this morning. Let's go ahead and look at oil. We got oil up another 36 cents, very close now. Texas Intermediate approaching 70. The Venezuelan tariffs are part of this. The president has said anybody buying Venezuelan oil is going to get a tariff on all of their products. Okay, so obviously he's hitting Venezuela again. I think he wants, what's his name, Maduro, something like that. I think he wants him to step down, and as he's not the legitimate president, we'll see what happens in that one. But right now, oil at $70 is still not striking. It's not a really bad situation. I'd certainly like to see it down $10. Natural gas up a tiny bit this morning, but still under $4 at $3.925. Excellent for inflation. Gold up $19 this morning, 3,034, still not back to all-time highs. Almost like silver, up 2.3 this morning, though, at $34.22. Copper's up 1.89, $5.19. I feel like it's been at $5.19 a lot. Okay, the dollar very strong. Bitcoin down 341, 87,923. And there you go. That is everything that you need to know about the markets this morning. What do you got coming up today? Well, it is a normal Tuesday, maybe. Gary Black is supposed to be on today. I keep waiting for him to give me exactly what time. So it may end up being Brian White. Brian White and I already have a very fun visit in the can, ready to go if necessary at 7:45. But I'm expecting it to be Gary Black. We'll see what happens. And then it'll be Nicholas Gibbs at roughly 5:15. I've got a great show planned for Nicholas and I to talk about what's been going on this last week. I think he's going to be a ton of fun. All right. Last night, the Brian White video last night did extremely well. It was very interesting. So I'm going to put that card up right here for you to go back and check that out. What else do I want to tell you? Yeah, hit the like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll go back and see in this little time. Yep, see, Tesla back to 000. So there you go. I'm talking about a flat market. It doesn't get much flat than being up 000. And by the way, it is green. I'm not kidding. Even though it's 000, it's green. So that means it's up. And now it's up 0.09. So there you go. We might see a green day. That would be lovely if we could just keep this rally going. All right, it's Randy Kirk. It's been great, as always, talking to you.